So here's my gorgeous bag I made. And my problem is I made it too skinny. I made it about half as deep as I need it to be. And so what I'm going to do is cut the seams along the front here, make another set of gussets about the same size as this, and sew them on here so the front back on, and then they should all squish together to give a nice thickness at the top, but it'll give me the depth that I want at the bottom. So that's the project. See if I can knock that out this week. It's a little bit tough to cut up something that's done and nice, but I think I can make it better. And I made it so I can cut up if I want to. One of the tricks I've learned is that you want to make the top of the bag slightly larger than the bottom. That makes it way easier to get inside and get stuff when you're working with it. So the bottom of this new gusseted section is going to be 4 inches, just like the first one was, but the top is going to be 5 inches. And to make the sides match up, I have to do some trigonometry, and rather than doing it the hard way and actually doing the trigonometry, I'm just going to figure out the angles by drawing them. So this, to wherever the top of the bag is going to be, has to be 12 inches. So I take the 12 on that mark, and then the top on the 5-inch mark, and that becomes my new line. And then I flip and do the same thing on this side. So I put the 12 on the corner there, and I put the top there. And what ends up happening is the sides are 12 inches, but the overall height of the piece ends up being slightly less than 12 inches. The moment of truth. I'm going to take out my sharp knife and I'm going to cut the stitches and take off the front panel. Then take this new gusset and stitch it on, and then stitch the front panel back on. So that should give me enough to actually have some decent storage while still keeping it smaller than the airplane under seat bag size limit. It's a little bit daunting to want to cut up a perfectly good bag. That wasn't so bad. According to the timer, it took about 14 minutes. Here's what I'm most excited about. Oh, the thermos fits inside all the way. Here's the room for the thermos and some papers and a computer. That's brilliant. That's what we're looking for. It's been a couple of months. I've been using the bag in its new format. No issues to report. Everything's going great. I think that if I had to do it over again from scratch, I would just make the whole gusset out of one big piece of leather. And in the end, making it two pieces does let you choose where you're going to cut it out of the hide and gives you a little bit more ability to use the whole hide. But in the end, having it come out here makes it tend to pooch a little bit out in the middle in a way I don't like. If you had one piece, it would make a nice arc all the way across, and that would make it behave a lot better. This design would work all right if we had two sections and there was a big piece of leather in the middle to sort of hold everything together. That would work fine, but then you'd end up with two narrow sections, and what I really wanted was a bigger section. In the end, you can see that the overall depth of the bag is about 8 inches, and that's narrow enough that it does fit under an airplane seat, no problem. And then again, this bag design is 17 inches across and approximately 13 inches high, so it has no issues fitting under most airline seats, and on smaller planes it will fit in the overhead compartment. So just to give you an idea of what kind of loadout I've got right now, got some rain pants because it's rain pants bicycling weather right now in Oregon. Got a little laptop computer, got a power plug for it, and my big Stanley thermos because I don't like to pay for coffee and I like to drink a lot of coffee every day. So that all fits in there, no problem. Going to work, got spots for all my pens. I like fancy fountain pens, and this seems to keep them in good shape. Plus, behind that I got a little pocket. I can keep things like car chargers. I often will put extra cables in there. I got in the front EpiPen. That's really handy for a lot of reasons. And a hobo knife so that I don't have to use plastic forks and spoons when I'm out and about. Metal drinking straws for that same reason. No need to use your plastic drinking straws. Bicycle light. Actually, turns out I've got 2 hobo knives in here. This is one I use when I'm going on airplanes because I can pull the knife part off and just have the forky, spoony. Probably don't need to carry that all the time. Power brick and stuff like that. In the end, I like to keep the lanyard inside this pocket because when it hangs inside, it actually tends to bang against the thermos and make too much noise. So you can see it's actually working really well. If I need to expand it out all the way I can, get a bunch of stuff in there, and if I don't, I can actually squish it down pretty well, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. I was able to pack for a 3-day trip to Los Angeles and get everything I needed for all 3 days into this bag. So then I just had one carry on the plane, and it was no hassle to walk around LA with my stuff. So it's working pretty well. I'm happy with this design. I think I'm going to make some changes as I go forward. I didn't actually give any room in the outer pocket. So on the next bag I designed, which you'll see when the video comes out, I made the pocket wider at the top than the bottom, so it'll pooch out and not take space from the inside of the bag. The next one beyond that, I'm going to actually slit the corners, make it even wider so that it'll actually have some, stitch up the slits on the corners so that it'll actually have some more shape and give some additional space in that sort of outer pocket on the bag. So overall, I talked way longer than I wanted to, but this has worked out really well, and cutting up the bag is actually the best thing I ever did for this bag. No issues. It's really good shape. You can see how that front gusset is wider than the back one at the top, and that makes a big difference for loading. All right, if you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe. If you're making stuff yourself, let me know in the comments. I'm curious what other people are doing that are watching these videos I make. If you have any ideas for things you'd like to see me work on, also add those in the comments. Thank you very much.